And cheers, cheers, and cheers, everybody. It's workout time. So today we're going to be hitting a push-pull upper body workout dynamic. We're going to be using the bands. I might even work in some dumbbells, but pretty much predominantly going to be using the bands here. I'm just kind of getting my pre-workout routine down, getting my B12 in. I've already mixed up my pre-workout on my creatine, beta-alanine, caffeine from Clean Nutra, their pre-sticks workout. Mixing them under my water. I'm going to get the warm-up going here in a minute, but before I do that, I'm going to throw on my weighted vest. We're going to get rocking here. Looks like we're all set up everywhere. And really quickly, this video, just like every other body doubling and live streaming video that I'm doing, will have a $50 LOF gift card to it. So if you're the first person to comment on whatever platform you're watching this, you will get a $50 gift card. You'll be eligible for it. We have the details on how you can redeem that gift card in the description. The only place you won't see it is on Amazon. If you're on Amazon, I will put that in the chat, or you can just basically email me at lifeofafighter@gmail.com. Ask the details, take a screenshot, bam, we'll hook you up with a $50 gift card. With that being said, let me start my workout timer. And this workout is actually being pulled from the LOF 100-day coaching protocol. We have a variety of programs. We also will customize the program to your specific needs, but we have a lot of foundational templates that we use for this. And this actual protocol today is from one of the templates that I've had for myself. Yes, I'm a client of my own coaching program. I have coaches writing me programs for this. And today we're going to be doing a push-pull dynamic from that routine, which I'm pulling up right now. So we've got this. And actually, I'm going to slide you guys right over here, wabam, so I can see my upper body. I'm also going to be writing down this workout in my journal as well. So with that being said, I'll bring you guys up here. Boom, so you can see everything. We're going to get into the fun. Yeah, I'm going to write down the workout. Let's see, today is what, the 22nd? Right? Yeah, 22nd. So we got, oh yeah, we're starting with core. So star plank, V up, see, upper body session. Okay. Put on my weighted vest and we'll get warmed up. Bam. And again, if you guys have been following along for any period of time, you know I like to get warmed up with 2 minutes of ball work, 2 minutes of shadow boxing, and then we'll get into the rest of the unique dynamic kind of fun for the day. But if you don't have a ball, if you don't have any of this stuff, you can also, in our program, we have your warm-up routine as well, which I'm going to be incorporating as well. The first 2 minutes I'm just doing as bonus, but we're going to be doing a jumping jack warm-up variation, then going into some dynamic stretches, an inchworm walkout to prime our upper body and the posterior chain, and getting into the rest of the fun. But again, feel free to drop questions, comments, all that good stuff. I've learned the hard way that unfortunately I can't play the music that I like because some of the platforms we're live streaming on may take it down. Looking at you, Amazon. Not necessarily a huge fan of some of the music I'm playing, which I get, whatever. Can't have all the cursing and derogatory kind of statements. Fine. We'll deal with it. But again, just working on some of the neurological priming and stimuli from the ball. And then I'm also going to pair this with some other kind of fun. Again, from a grappling and a wrestling standpoint, I can go through some alternating down blocks. I can do down block, step, reshot, getting into that movement pattern. Down block, heel, toe, step. Getting into a reshot, down block, heel, toe, step, reshot. Now I'm using a different hand position. Normally if we're reshooting on that, we wouldn't have our hands just completely not doing anything. But we can go from like high crotch, double, shoot a single leg, things like that. We have those variations, but heel, toe, boom. Okay, so that's already about 2 minutes in. I'm gonna pop this over here. We're gonna do some banded shadow boxing to warm up. And then also just go through a more traditional warm-up routine that we have in our program. So if you don't want to do your shadow boxing or you don't want to do any jiu-jitsu work you'll be able to at least, let me set my timer, get warmed up that way. So again, in our coaching programs, we take all the guesswork out. We do everything mapped out and programmed for you, from how you're going to warm up, how you're going to stretch, what kind of resistance you're going to use, the weight, the rep range, how to substitute. You can even substitute movements if, let's say, during this time of year, you're traveling, you don't have access to the normal either gym or equipment you would. We go over how you can substitute those movements. And now I'm actually really excited to share. We had some great calls and conversations yesterday for our health retreat. We got some new people booked coming, some new brands that are collaborating with us. We got our chef pretty much dialed in, and our whole sponsorship team looks like it's coming together for the great products you'll be able to get when you come in person. We're having our retreat in Joshua Tree, California, February 5th to February 9th. You get some really cool stuff when you come, not just the workshops, products, but some activities as well. And if you can't make it in person for that, we're also going to be offering remote workshops where you can still come, learn, have the replays, and be able to gain value from it. Especially now, we're able to use your insurance to cover a lot of these workshops and educational pieces. So if you're interested on how you can use your insurance to cover your coaching and be able to come to the retreat or do our 100-day coaching with that, feel free to reach out, follow, subscribe. We got all the details below. Check out the website. Check us out here. Even just buying a set of the bands will get you access to our coaching programs and organization. Pretty cool stuff. And also, if you didn't know, you can use an HSA and FSA account to pay for your bands. They are HSA and FSA approved and eligible items. And time. All right, so we got 2 minutes in on that. Now we're going to get into jumping jacks, arm hugs, arm circles, and inchworm to tricep push-ups. These are, again, more standard, traditional, quote-unquote warm-ups that we're going to do. But since I got my bands here, I like to level up the warm-up. I'm going to show you guys how we like to level things up with the bands. Ooh, I'm going to unpack the red today. Again, we have different levels of resistance for each of these, and they're mapped out in our cheat sheet. But for our jumping jacks, I'm going to show you two variations that you can utilize, because some people are like, hey, Mike, I don't want impact. I don't want to actually have that impact on my joints from whether it's shadow boxing, jumping rope, jumping, doing traditional jumping jacks. This impact may feel too much. So the other thing that we can do here is step. Like, if you can't tell, I've taught a variety of fitness classes in my day, as well as taught a variety of even geriatric programs. And there's so much that you can do that allows you to get warm. All right, we got the time going. What's up? I see you guys. Thanks for saying hey in the chat. Again, feel free to take a screenshot, document that you were the first to comment. I'll send you that LOF gift card. This month, no breaks, and you'll get yeah, it's not even just for the 1 month, right? We're doing this for life, y'all. Okay, so we got our jumping jacks. Now let's just get our arm hugs. Pretty standard, but actually quite effective from a dynamic perspective to warm up. So again, we're trying to do a couple things with warm up. You're literally trying to warm up your actual muscle tissue and the temperature of your system. We're also priming your system from a neurological standpoint, from your brain to your muscle connection. Priming it helps the performance side. On top of that, all that to say, as well as not only physically priming it, warming up your tissue, but it also makes you more injury proof or less likely to get injury from doing this. So now we're also going to do our arm circles. Again, we're lubricating the joints by doing this. And then we're also priming everything up to get the most out of our performance. The more we could push, the more effective our workouts are going to be. So again, we're doing 15 to 30 seconds on each of these. Even like 10 to 15 seconds is fine. Or if you want to count, you can always do reps. So now we're going to go into, I'm going to take the bands off for this one. Wanted to just have that for, again, our jumping jacks and how you can kind of utilize the bands to get part of the warm-up in. But we're going to finish it up with our kind of inchworm to push-up walkout. So I'm going to hinge down, walk my hands out, doing a tricep-oriented push-up, which means my elbows are tight, coming all the way back up. I'm going to change the camera angle so everybody can see that. Come on down here. Come on down, come on down, come on down. Come on down, bring it on down. Get all those breaks. And again, we're from this bottom angle, hinging, walking out, keeping those elbows a little bit tighter to make it a more of a tricep-oriented push-up, and then driving up, walking it back in. That's 2. We're going for 5. There's 3. There's 4. We got one more. And 5. Okay, so that is pretty much our dynamic warm-up, priming our body. Now we're going to get into some of the core routines. So I'm going to set up my puzzle mats for this. Again, you don't need puzzle mats. They're just helpful to have. I like to have them, especially when I'm doing martial arts or jiu-jitsu oriented things. But again, it's a nice to have, not a need to have. But it's a worthwhile little piece to just set you up for success. And when in doubt, you can always just have them to play with your kids. I know my kids really enjoy that. So the first thing we're going to be going through is a plank variation. If you guys ever watched my content before, I'm a huge plank variation fan, especially when it comes to building up not just an aesthetic core that looks good, but a core that works, a functional core. Now, the one thing I'm going to be mindful of is because of my shoulder, working on a shoulder injury, I'm going to modify this from a traditional star plank where you put your hands out to look like a star shape. I'm going to actually be using the bands and doing a different variation. It's going to get a little bit more rhomboid and rotator cuff integration. So let me tell you what I mean here. I'm going to put my hands on right here. And what I'm going to do, let me just slide this over a little bit. I'm going to have my hands on the puzzle pieces. I'm going to go into the plank position. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one hand, tap off, come back in, tap off. So I'm going laterally out to the side, back in. Now to make it even more challenging, I'm going to slow things down on the way back in. Just 2, we're going to go to 10. 3, 3. It's going to be tempting to speed up. Goal is to have nice, slow, controlled movement. 7, we're going to 10. 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. So now, again, we're going in a circuit style. And with this circuit style, we're going to go into a V-up variation next. Because I have the weighted vest on, I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I'm also going to put the band on my legs. I can put it on my shoulders as well. Actually, I'm going to put it on my wrists or my shoulders. Get a little bit more of that rotator cuff work. We can even do both. We do one on the legs, one on the upper body. But for our V-ups, I'm going to slightly modify here. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. We're going for calls 20 to 40 seconds. We're going to do about 6 to 10 reps. So when I'm coming down, I'm going to come down into this, again, supinated position. I'm facing up. Then I'm just going to come up, touch. I'm going to have a slight bend in the knees here, and then control, come back down. So it's more of like crunch, reverse crunch. Again, if we wanted a full traditional V-up, you'd have those legs straight, okay? Just like that. But I'm going with crunch, reverse crunch. And again, I'm keeping tension in the band. 6, 7, 8. We got 2 more. 9, and 10. So now we're supersetting this with our side elbow plank. So again, I'm going to modify this a little bit because of the shoulder. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to do lift offs. Instead of just statically holding, I'm going to lift off the ground. And then for the second round, when I do this, I'll do it from a side angle so you guys can see it from another perspective. But for this angle, again, I'm stacking my legs, and I'm going to just, again, with my hip down, my elbows close underneath, I'm going to lift, hold for a second, come back down. I'm going to do this 10 times. As you progress, you can start to just hold. And I'll show you another variation. 7, 8, 2, 9, 10. We'll do the same thing from this side so you can see it from the top angle. And then for the next round, I'll do it from the lateral view as well. So again, stack, lift. 6, 7, 8, 9. Bam, there's 10. So one of the other things we can do here, just to break this down, we technically now have a rest. I'm doing a minute rest. What we can also do for that position is instead of having the legs straight, I'm going to actually get into our lateral position here. You guys can kind of see a little bit more from that lateral view. What we could do is I can have my knee down. You guys, come on down. Come on down here. Come on over. We'll just kind of scooch all that out of the way. But I really want you guys to see what's happening with this bottom knee. So instead of it being stacked on top, I'm going to bend this bottom knee, kick it behind me. Okay? And then I'm going to just lift my hips. But notice my bottom leg is still down. So we're building up strength. If you don't have the strength to have both your legs straight coming off the ground, you can have your bottom leg bent and build it from there. That being said, though, I've got about like 10 more seconds. We're going to go into the next round of our star plank. But again, as promised, we're going to go to the lateral position. So I'm going to change the angle. You guys come over here. And we'll change up our angle and position. Over here. I'm carrying over here back. Just in time for core. All right, so now let's get that side angle, lateral angle here. So again, going to this plank variation where 10 reps, I'm going to have the bands on my wrist, and then we are going to just work them laterally off. So I'm here, going off, controlling on the way back in. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. I'm going to kind of spin here so you guys can see from the opposite side. Right here. 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. All right, so Hope is just staring at me right now. She's loving it. I did, again, the band's on my wrist for the top position. Now what I'm going to do is put it on my legs for the second round to show you another angle of resistance. So again, yeah, what Hope Bear said, we're going into, again, this is more of a crunch, reverse crunch, especially because I have the weighted vest on. If again, we wanted a full V up, I would have my arms and legs straight. This is going to be a slight bend variation. So I'm bending and extend. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Hope Bear. 4. 7, 8. We're going to 10. 9 and 10. Yes, Hope Bear. 10. Now what we can do for this as well, notice I'm going to keep the band on my lower body. Do our side plank. The cool thing we can do with this side plank, if we wanted to make it another layer of challenge, is I lift my hips Then I also lift my top leg to turn it into a star side plank. 2. And again, you don't need the band for that. I'm just adding it because I have enough hip abductor strength to do this and glute strength. Right hip air. 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, and 10. Now we're going to switch those sides. So you're coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we got, again, 2 rounds of core in. Now we're going to go into the full upper body push-pull dynamic. Now, again, there's different philosophies when it comes to putting core work in, if you should have a separate day for it, if you do it before or after heavy lifts. I'll share with you my philosophy really quick while I'm resting for 1 minute of why we position it where we do right now. And the whole point of positioning it where I did was, yes, this is challenging, but it's also priming up and engaging my core to be able to be engaged for the main lifts. So I'm going to take my weighted vest off, take the bands off, and now I'm going to go into the push-pull, the heavier resistance, the heavier loads, but my core is now fired up and engaged. If I was purely focusing, and there also is some fatigue and strengthening perspectives to that can come in a pro and con. If I overly tax my core and it's not able to actually stay strong and stable for the lifts, it might negatively impact my performance. But the way I've kind of built this and how I structure it is I'm not trying to do actual like hypertrophy work with that core positioning. It's more for activation. And if we wanted to do it as more hypertrophy or aesthetic or strength by itself, we would do it at the end of the workout once our system's already fatigued and then just finish it off. But I'm focusing more on the push-pull dynamic here. Okay. With that being said, we're going to move our camera angle again. I'll bring you all back over here. Come on over. And let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. You come on up over here. And again, the first thing we got is going to be a banded floor press. We're going for 10 reps. So I'm going to increase the resistance for that. I'm going to slide this back. Bring this angle down. Probably actually going to just end up bringing you guys down here. And get it right in here. So again, we got a banded floor press. Here we go. So for the banded floor press, I'm going to do 2 things. I'm starting with the green band, which is about 120 pounds of resistance at the top end. But I'm also going to add what we call a serratus punch to it. So I'm going to let you see from this top end. I'm doing 10 reps. But I'm also, I'm probably actually going to go for 12. We're doing like 10 to 12 here. Let's see how it feels. But what I'm shooting for is not just the press, but once I'm at the top, I'm going to be punching. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm here at the top. Now I'm going to add another layer of punch to get the serratus anterior impulse. And again, controlling on the way down. 3. Yeah, 10 is going to be plenty on that. I can feel it, especially coming off of this continuous repairing of an injury. So now we're going to superset that. There's going to be a circuit style. There's different ways, again, to approach our training. Circuit style can be really helpful when you're short on time. You want to be efficient with your time. So we're supersetting this. What do I have? Incline press. Okay, perfect. So I'm actually going to do a standing incline press variation. So we're going to bring it back up, and I'll show you what I mean. This is where we get to use the band and anchor setup to facilitate the proper positioning. And voila. This is where the door anchor becomes really important. We're going to drop out our Gym 1 setup. I'm going to just trade it. I'm going to just trade this door. So I'm sliding this door anchor right under. And then I can just loop the bands that I want through. And it's going to give me that incline pressing resistance and position that I want. I'm looping it right through here. And I'm going to clip my handles on. Going left to right. Again, because I want an incline position. I'm probably going to do this kneeling. And it's going to be turned somewhat into a modified like hybrid between a shoulder press and a chest press. So I'm going to try and position it where instead of going straight up, I'm going to go out in front. And I can always increase the resistance by either coming up or standing up taller. 3. And the angle of force here becomes important. That's what's making it an incline chest press. 12. And again, it's a circuit style, so we're going from one to the next, Now we've got a externally rotated band pull apart. Which is a fancy way of saying what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my red band. Pull this back up so you guys can kind of see the angle here. And with the external rotation component, I'm not only keeping my palms facing down as I pull it apart and turning them towards you. So I'm rotating them up, which gets more of the external rotation component for our rotator cuffs. This one we're going to go higher volume, 10 to 15. 4. What I like to do is I add a little bit of a protraction, so serratus punch, similar to the chest press. 6. 7. 8. 10. 12. 13. 14. And 15. Now we're doing our last superset of this quad set. Now I have a single arm lateral raise. So this is where I'm going to bust out. And again, this is where I can add on the grips if I wanted to, but for this, I'm not even going to use the grips. I'm going to just anchor it down, pull the slack out. There's a variety of ways to do this, but the way I'm doing it, it kind of looks like a X pattern. And we're going to go to a lateral raise. I can already feel the resistance on this one's going to kick, so I might have to modify and drop it. Yeah, because like already right there, I can feel it's just too much. And that's what's cool about being able to do this. We can modify it. So notice how I pull out some of the tension. I can still do that X pattern, which is not as much resistance. And then again, I'm going to my lateral raise, and I'm pulling out the tension across as well. 2, 3, Going 10 to 15. 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so we're going to rest for a minute. We're going to repeat that cycle for anywhere from 2 to 4 rounds. Today, I think I have enough time for 3. Maybe we'll push 4. Now I'm just going to jot down. Yeah. Side, right, 2 by 10. And we did press, incline, chest press, and pull apart. So we're doing green band, that was black, and that was red, and yellow band, 10, 12, 15, 15. I'm just, again, it's helpful to write things down too, or you track it in your app. Because I'm used to using my phone to film, I'm not going to be tracking it in the app. Normally I would. While we're resting, I think I got, what, 20 more seconds? Not even. I pretty much rested through the whole thing. I'm going to just check the comments, see if we got any questions coming in. What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? What's going on? How we doing? Appreciate the support, everybody dropping by. What's going on? All right, let's get into it. Round number 2. So again, going for the floor press. And then we're going to go into the incline press. We're keeping that same angle. One of the things I personally like to do, I'm going to show you a cool little addition here, is different types of push and pull dynamics. I like to also put bands around my wrists. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to put it actually around my wrist. I'm going to go with a little bit of a lighter resistance. I'm going to bring you guys, come on down here. Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. And what I'm doing right now, I'm going to take the bands, put it around my wrist. So I have another layer of integration, which I find really helps me activate some of the muscles around my shoulder blades and increase my pressing performance. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like. The trick is just getting it actually set up. So look, I've got this, again, band between my hands, got my floor press positioning. Just bring this up a little bit. And again, I'm not only pressing, but I'm adding that serratus punch. Really, probably not going to be doing that in the third round. That one's pretty good. Okay, then we're going back into an incline press variation. Supersetting that. Kind of wrap myself nice and tall, and going into that pressing mechanic. Not even hitting 12 on that one, getting 10. Now we're going into pull aparts. Bring y'all back up here. Come on up, come on up. Get into, again, that externally rotated banded pull apart. Yeah, I'm starting with my palms facing down. As I pull in to my chest, I'm rotating my palms facing up. Now we're going into those lateral raises too. So again, I'm anchoring, I'm stepping, making a little X pattern to just increase some of the resistance here. And then going to that lateral raise. Take a minute to rest. Going for at least one more round. We might have two. While I do that, I'm going to grab a sip. 2, 10, 15, 15. Again, tracking your reps, your sets, and just the overall resistance becomes so impactful as you're building in your progressions and as you want to increase your strength throughout your programs. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, dude, I don't even know. I'm going to try and say that name, but let's see if we can. Solijan? Am I saying that right? Well, I appreciate you. I see you. Okay. Got about 10 more seconds. Round number 3. Let's get it, y'all. Now, the cool thing is, even with the pressing variation, we can turn a floor press into a standing press. I got you. Yeah, I got you. All right, let's bring it back down to the ground, though. Now I'm going to take the kind of short bands out of the equation on this one. We're going to take some of the scapular resistance out because I'm already feeling it. I'm trying to not have to take the bands off, but I'm going to have to probably drop these. Come on down, y'all. Come on down. And check it out. All right, let's get back into it. Look at the smooth break fall in transit. All right, so again, we got our floor press into the radius punch. Last round of our incline chest press. Let's do it. Whoop, try to line up my position here so you guys can see. Bring it down a little bit of resistance because I'm. All right, so that's going to do it for our crossing mechanics. Now we're going to get into the banded pull apart and our lateral raise for the shoulders. Here we go. And we're getting right into about that 40-minute mark for the workout. So we're kind of purving line. I usually like to have workouts be about 40, 45 minutes. I know for my parents out there, my busy professionals, it's hard to get a full hour in. Even 20, 30 minutes can be effective. But if you can get 40 minutes, there's a lot possible. Look, we did 3 hard working rounds, hitting our push-pull dynamics, front and back side of the body. Thirteen. 4. All right. Last one. Last one here, y'all. Gotta make it count, right? Get to make it count. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 11, 12, 13. And that is it. So now that's the last of our hard working sets. Now we're going to do some static stretching to cool it down and call it a wrap from there. So again, I got more work to do. I'm sure you all do as well. And if not, just be getting ready for the holidays, right? And look how simple it is to break all this down. Literally just collapse that down. Take my gym one, right back up. So use it for another variation later. Hang that puppy up, and the bands up. It's that simple, y'all. And voila. Now right here. Now we're just going to do some static, again, stretching to support the tissues we just worked. So we're going to do another arm hug. But instead for this one, we're going to statically hold it. So we're trying to reach around for this hug. Taking some nice deep breaths in. What I personally like to do is rotate with this. And then even get a nice little crunch, more of the thoracic spine. One more time each direction. And relax, shake it out. Get to right down. 10, 15. Got that. Now let's look into our next one. We got our, what do we got? Ooh, we're gonna do our static lat stretch. So I'm actually gonna turn this into, because we didn't do as much on that, we're gonna first go into our pec stretch. So just grabbing the doorway and just rotating. Oh, that feels so good on my chest and shoulder. Taking 3 deep breaths here. You don't want to count your seconds or set a timer. I just do it to my breath. 3 to 5 breaths, nice, slow, and controlled, is roughly 15 to 30 seconds. I'll do the opposite side. Same thing. Oh, yeah. Pay attention left versus right. What feels tighter? What feels better? Now we're going to finish it up with a nice little lat stretch as well. So because I've got the gym one, we're going to use that to our advantage. If you don't, you could use the floor. But I'm just going to grab, hold the bar, literally let my legs extend and my butt go back. Just, oh yeah. Well, that's going to do it. Let's check our timer here to see where I'm at from the workout perspective. We were able to get this done. I think that's what, 45 minutes? Yeah, 45 minutes, pretty much on the dot. So it's a 45-minute push-pull workout, getting your core as well, getting your dynamic and static movements. I've got all the products that I utilized here in the shop. Wherever you're watching this, there's either going to be a shop or a link to a shop that you can shop all these products, as well as resources to take action on. Cheers, everybody. If I don't see you on the next stream, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Catch you all on the next one. Pieces. Later, y'all.